So, hi, Lori. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you virtually.
You too.
And thank you for joining us today for our recovery stories. This would be our first one that we're going to do with Noah. So, the first question is if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and maybe like what you're doing for work.
Okay. Well, my name is Lori Hout. I consider myself a woman in long-term recovery, and that is like one of the most important parts of who I am. Um, I currently work at Noah Recovery Support Center, and I work as a recovery coach and volunteer coordinator for family continuity and the Noah Recovery Support Center. Um, I'm also a social worker, and it really aligns with what we do. Um, I always kind of wanted to help people. Um, One interesting thing that I used to do when I was little was I'd go around the neighborhood and pick flowers and like bring them around to all the little old ladies, and they would give me candy. So, and I remember I put that in my college admissions essay for my master's program. And that's really who I am. So I've gotten back to that. I'm also the crier. So I cry
Thank
all the
you.
time and I'm not ashamed of it.
Thank you. That's awesome. And I know you're our crier of the group, which is great. We need one of each of us to fill the pie, so it's good. If you can tell us a little bit like what brought you into recovery. You had said that you're a woman in recovery, so what brought you in?
So many things. Sometimes I wish it had brought me in sooner. For a long, long time, I used drugs and alcohol to really make me feel comfortable, make me feel like I was okay in the world and that other people would like me and, all the typical stuff. And it took hold, it took over my life where that was the most important thing. Um, and it really wasn't even the fact that that was the most important thing that made me think about recovery. It was that I was getting really sick and I was really ashamed. Um, my roommates were telling me, you have a problem, and sometimes they would be compassionate and sometimes they would be, a little brutal, and they would say, what the hell? This is ridiculous. And those two things, the positives of their compassion and the negatives of like the consequences of what I was doing. My memory was terrible. My I was not doing well at work. I was mean. I was anxious all the time. I just was so unhappy. And a few things happened over the last year. Um, I had a few moments when I was really scared that I had like crossed some line, and um, that I was going to have some major consequences. And then I also had like moments of clarity. Um, One of those was my old neighbor. Um, he grew up down the street from me. He was the paper boy. His family like did the paper delivery, and we were friends on Facebook. And he posted about quitting drinking. And Facebook, you don't think it does anything good, right? But it does, under the right circumstances. And he posted about how sick he was, and I thought, my gosh, he's gonna die from quitting, And but I contacted him, and he was nice. He was nice to me, and that was like my first contact with somebody who was trying to be in recovery. I'd never talked to anybody else who was in recovery. Um, and that really, like, the ball was rolling so slowly before that. It was like he kicked it, and I started making plans, you know, and pretty soon I had my plan set to get some help and take some time off from work. And, it took me a couple tries, but I was determined and I was ready in so many ways. And after that, I just kind of like got to know some people in the recovery community, and I like found myself. I really did.
That's
Oh,
beautiful.
crying again. I wouldn't care about the crying, except it makes me look puffy. But in recovery, I've just learned so much, and I've learned to love myself. So I never knew how I was going to get there, but I landed.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing that and being real during it, and not sugarcoating or seeing the whole picture of it, and I love to hear like the Facebook stories, because I'm one who's like very vocal and honest on Facebook as well, about my active addiction and recovery. And it's not for myself, I do it to post for others, and I'm pretty sure you and I see the same vision on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons in early recovery, I would post, how many days, how many weeks, how many months. It was accountability, but it was also like, hey, you can do this too. There's a lot of people out there having a hard time. And, over the years, I've had a lot of people reach out to me simply because of that.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. Me too. So what keeps you going?
Well, I don't know. I care about people. I want to, I love to see the light of hope in other people. I feel like I was reborn, and like I never imagined that I could be the person I am today. So being able to see other people like get to that point is probably the biggest thing. But I also just like know that I'm on the right path. I know that that doing what I do is that this is the where I'm supposed to be, the person I'm supposed to be. And if I have a tough day, I just say, well, tomorrow's a new day, and I try to take care of myself, and I try to do things that I enjoy, and have people around me who are positive. I've learned to look at life differently. I used to find reasons to be angry about things because it made me feel like justified and righteous, and like that just took me so down the wrong path. And now if I start getting angry or anxious, I'm like, hold up, this is not healthy, and you don't like this, so why are you doing that? Take a step back, take a break, call somebody, do something different, go outside, listen to the birds, whatever it is, do some self-care, and I just reset. Nobody ever taught me that when I was growing up, but maybe they should have. I probably wouldn't have listened. I was a little brat.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Our recovery stories and being able to share your journey with everyone. We greatly appreciate it.
I appreciate you asking, and I am ready to go on the internet.
Awesome, thank you.